You know what? Let's Google what the definition of a trad wife is.
Well, that's perfect. I'm actually going to ask you, what do you consider a trad wife?
Well, I had to look up the term.
Bring it to me.
Because I wasn't familiar with that, right? I didn't quite know what it means. But the fast answer is a trad wife is a woman who embraces or promotes a traditional model of marriage and family life where she typically prioritizes being a homemaker and a primary caregiver for kids, takes primary responsibility for cooking, cleaning, and managing the household, supports her husband's role as the primary breadwinner, often values traditional gender roles within marriage. So with that definition and those points, I'm none of that. And we can go through it point by point. I don't prioritize being a homemaker. I'm a working mom. Like, I am out in LA. I travel a lot. Do I love cooking because it's my passion and because I kind of have to do it given my autoimmune? Absolutely. But that's a passion of mine. It's a hobby. It's not something that I need to be doing for what?
Right?
Right.
Keep going. I like this. This is good.
Primary caregiver for my kids? No. My husband and I split it 50-50. Like, when he works, I watch them. When I work, he watches them. And now, given everything that's been going on, we also have help. My mom's out. We have someone that helps us with the kids because it's just not doable for me to do it all. So that doesn't really work, right? Takes primary responsibility for cooking, cleaning, and managing the household. Yeah, I like to cook. Okay, sue me. I like to cook. My husband burns everything apart from a good steak, so he'll do that. But I like cooking, so I'm doing it. Household and cleaning, he does the dishes. I don't touch the dishes. There's no way you're gonna see me washing and scrubbing the dishes. Also, he cleans our house.
Nara Smith. Maybe I got the wrong impression of her, but I don't think I did. What I can say is that she was never really a trad wife. She just cosplayed as one online. And I say that because most of her videos for years and all of her millions of followers, if they want to agree and they're not just followers, they would say that her content basically and mostly focused on her being a homemaker, which is what a trad wife is. And she has a lot of influence. So these young girls coming online at 19 and saying that they want to be trad wives and also promoting it, how to become a trad wife. Her influence was there. It was there for a lot of people to see. And now she's pivoting, which people can change whenever they want to. But I think it's disingenuous to act like you've never heard the term trad wife, even though it's been in your hashtags for years.
I recently noticed that the luster for the lifestyle I've profited from has faded, so I decided to make a new image from scratch. In a large bowl, start with an interview on a popular podcast using your regular voice. Gently fold in details of how your life contradicts the traditional persona you spent years building. Then sprinkle in defensiveness, gaslighting, and a pinch of classism. Don't worry about acknowledging feminism. This recipe doesn't call for that. You'll need to whisk the mixture with ways your husband supports you with selective limited domestic labor until it reaches a stiff peak. Next, you'll want to pour the mixture into one pot, symbolizing the multiple streams of income that you share with your husband as an equal breadwinner. You'll want to leave it on the stove until public opinion reaches a boil, and then reduce to simmer until book release date. You'll know it's ready when the praise of your supermom business savvy and productivity are as frequent as the ones from when you would take 7 business days to make your toddler's mid-morning snack from scratch. Cover with the shield of proximity to whiteness. Schiaparelli is optional but strongly recommended. Uncover once people have forgotten how you contributed to the trad wife pipeline. And there you have it, a new image from scratch.
The way her voice changed in this podcast versus what has been on her page for years now is wild to me. Like, you're not whispering anymore. Okay. So let's read some of the comments. Everyone giving Nara Smith a pass on this is part of the problem. And they are. And she tagged her. I love that. I love that she tagged her. We'll never meet, but know that you're the wind beneath my wings. Oh God, she's gonna block you, sis, and prove that she has been blocked. Right. Because we're not going to acknowledge or take accountability for the things that we've done. Right. Here's the hashtag, right? This is the hashtag. This is from 2024. Tradwife baking recipe. The Nara Smith who was making all of her kids snacks from scratch, making butter from scratch, making regular things that you can buy at the store from scratch, and stealing that great Oneswa's recipes and posting them as hers. Not a tradwife though, because a book release is coming, and we have to act as if the tradwife trend that's now blowing up online with children, teenagers, 19, 18-year-olds saying that they want to be tradwives didn't come from part of your influence. Like, you didn't create the pipeline, sis. You didn't create the pipeline. No, you're just, you're a working mom. Period. Clock that. But my question is, why did Alex Cooper let Nara Smith get away with remaking her image? Why didn't she ask Nara any pointed questions or challenge the fact that Nara was reconning her tradwife image? Because Alex Cooper is a journalist and is terrible. Well, Alex Cooper is not a journalist and is terrible at conducting interviews. Okay. So she does owe Oneswa an apology. That I agree with strongly. She owes that woman an apology, because for years Oneswa was gaslit. Oneswa was told that she's lying. Oh, she's jealous of Nara and she's trying to bring down another creator, which she wasn't. Her recipes were being stolen. Her content was being stolen, and no one believed her. And now, I want to say it again, Nara Smith is not a tradwife. Hello? But yes, a lot of people will say she was never a tradwife because tradwives don't make money off of social media. They don't. The definition of tradwife is that the real tradwives are not posting anything on social media. The tradwives are at home taking care of the babies, taking care of the home. They're not interested in making any money online. Their husband is the primary breadwinner, and that's it. So she was cosplaying as one, and she was benefiting off of it. And not only that, she was influencing a lot of young girls to become tradwives just to be like her. We can argue that she had no real influence, but that's not true. Millions of people watch her. Millions of women, young women, watch her. And millions were influenced by her.
Okay, there's one piece of the Nara Smith Call Her Daddy podcast interview that really stuck out to me that I haven't seen anyone talking about it. So I'm going to insert the clip and then we'll talk on the other side.
It's primary responsibility for cooking, cleaning, and managing the household. Yeah, I like to cook. Okay, sue me. My husband burns everything apart from a good steak, so he'll do that. But I like cooking, so I'm doing it. Household and cleaning, he does the dishes. I don't touch the dishes. There's no way you're going to see me washing and scrubbing the dishes. Also, he cleans our house.
So obviously this clip has been the subject of a lot of conversation, but I want to talk about a different part of it that I have not seen anyone bring up, which is her claim that Lucky Blue Smith, her husband, is cleaning their house. I do not for a minute believe that. Telling me that these people have a combined net worth of $7 million and are still cleaning their own house. I do not believe it. Clearly, Nara Smith is an unreliable narrator. She always has been. It is shocking to me that this is shocking to anyone. She is a product that she is selling. When you are selling a product, you have to react to the market conditions. That is what she is doing. It seems clear to me that Nara Smith has been profiting off her misrepresentation of her own life. Nara Smith is basically trying to say, I'm not a trad wife because my husband and I have an equal marriage. The likelihood that that's true is obviously slim to none. Very few heterosexual marriages are actually legitimately equal. We are all aware of that. The premise of a trad wife is that the woman doesn't work because the husband is making enough money for the woman to run the home or have house help and then just like chill on Quaaludes all day. She is subverting that premise by being the one who is making all of the money. Her net worth is 6 times that of her husband. So that's all she really has to say. No, I'm not a trad wife because I make 6 times my husband. But she didn't say that. She is again trying to sell this image of, oh, well, we have an equal marriage. Did anyone actually buy that was who she was? I'm so confused.
They have staff. They don't have house cleaners come once a week. They have staff. They have staff that cleans their house, edits their videos, creates editorial calendars, manages travel, cares for children, and takes care of their cars. This is how wealthy people live. It's how ballerina farms people also live. Her husband and ballerina farms are brother and sister. So she probably saw that creating a product and character pays off. Right. So honestly, she could have just said she makes a lot of money and so she's not a trad wife. It could have been that simple, right? Really could have been that simple. Also, she couldn't have come on and say, oh, I make more money than my husband, because that would be, yeah. That would probably cause a problem with Lucky. I don't know. Because, let's be honest, they want to benefit from women and how much money we make, but no one should actually know that we make more money. We're not going to get into that, but no one should know. I said what I said.
I don't think a trad wife would be cooking in Schiaparelli. Cleared! But what didn't clear are her lies. It is both irresponsible and pointless for Nara Smith to try to deny that she was pushing trad wife content. While most traditional wives don't have Vogue covers and pieces straight off the runway, I think we all can agree that Mrs. Smith was definitely part of that propaganda. She was literally cosplaying as a trad wife, making thousands and maybe even millions of dollars from doing so. And now that it's not cool to be a trad wife anymore, she's distancing herself from that character. Not to mention she did that weird collab with the #1 trad wife on TikTok, Ballerina Farms. Ah, yes, Ballerina Farms. The woman that gave up her dreams of being a ballerina so she could become a chef and personal baby-making machine, milking cows all day on a hot-ass farm. With her billionaire husband, might I add. So yes, Nara Smith is definitely lying, and she was part of pushing a narrative that is no longer popular. She can try to backtrack, but it's too late. We already have 17-year-old girls that are loud and proud about not going to school or having any career plans of their own. Their goals are simply to be a slave to their husband and children. And of course, they're receiving harsh criticism for it, and rightfully so. Because of that, Nara is now trying to flip the script.
Primary responsibility for cooking, cleaning, and managing the household. Yeah, I like to cook. Okay, sue me.
She's only 24 years old, and it shows through her interview. Kudos to Alex Cooper for having her 5th Black guest on Call Her Daddy. She knew exactly how she was being perceived. Now, do I think Nara Smith is a trad wife? Absolutely not. But do I believe she was cosplaying as one while also profiting off of it as long as it served her? Yes, I do. But tell me what you think in the comments. You're welcome. I love ya.
What do comments say? Yes, Nara Smith basically had a character of a trad wife without the trials and tribulations of the trad wife. She was literally known for being the main trad wife content creator in 2024 before Ballerina Farm blew up because her man bought her an egg apron for her birthday. A millionaire buying his wife, the mother of his kids, or is he a billionaire? I'm not sure. An egg apron for her birthday when she had already planned a trip and all he had to do was book it. I think that's how the story goes. I could be wrong. Like, all he had to do was book the trip And I think his family owns a airline as well, but he chose to buy her an egg apron instead. He hates her. He hates her. I don't care what anybody says. It's frustrating. A lot of people don't understand the debate isn't about whether Nara Smith was actually a trad wife or not. Like, of course, she wasn't actually a trad wife. Her content was propaganda and it never had to be real to be a problem. It became a problem when a lot of 16, 17, 18-year-olds started coming online and saying that they want to be trad wives. And they were using her and Ballerina Farms as their blueprint. It became a problem when people started saying no. And then trad wives who had been trad wives for 30 plus years, and either they're still one or they have decided that they're going to leave their husbands or whatever the case is, those women, older women, started coming out and saying, listen, this would be the worst thing that you could ever do to yourself. Go to school, get a career, become something, be dependable on yourself, because being solely dependent on a man is dangerous. When people started speaking out against it because they saw that the young women were being influenced into that life by the propaganda that was online by Nara Smith, her at the top, at the very top of the list, promoting being a trad wife, cosplaying as one, profiting off of it, and influencing young girls into a life of servitude. And now you want to backpedal and be like, oh, I don't even know what a trad wife is. Ma'am, it's in your hashtags from 2024. We know that you know what that is. Here's an example of a trad wife. Let's watch.
To all my ladies out there, 18 to 25, that want to get married, don't date for a long period of time. 6 weeks is more than enough. I am a 19-year-old wife, and I got engaged at 18. If you're looking to get married while you're still a teenager, listen closely. Here is some dating advice. My biggest piece of advice to all the young ladies out there looking to get married is date with intent. I got engaged in just 6 weeks, and that was plenty of time. I didn't date to mess around or to waste my time. If you want to be treated as a high-value woman, you have to think of yourself as a high-value woman. My time is precious, and I'm going to use it wisely. In just 6 weeks, me and my husband covered grounds that most couples who date for years never cover. Don't date just to have a boyfriend. You're dating to get married. You're dating to build a family. What is your foundation? How do you want to raise your kids? What is money going to look like? What are your morals and values? When you're going out on dates, these are the things you should be talking about, not what your favorite color is. Now, a lot of you are about to disagree with me, but I believe that love is not the most important part of a relationship. Hear me out. Of course it is important, but love grows. You have to be focusing on the things that really matter. This is the person you're about to build your life with. He's not only going to be your husband, but the father of your children. You may be head over heels in love with him, but what happens when you get married and your fundamentals don't align? He wants 7 kids, but you want 2. You want to fly first class, but he thinks it's a waste of money and only wants to fly coach. Now what do? Another very important point I would like to make: I've seen couples that have dated for years succeed and also not succeed. And I've seen couples that dated for very short amounts of time succeed and also not succeed. The amount of time they dated really didn't matter in the end. Some succeed, some don't. As a matter of fact, I think couples that date for a longer period of time find reasons to not be together rather than be together. Because marriage is permanent. You find an issue and you work it out. But dating, you can leave at the smallest inconvenience. You are not perfect. And neither is your partner. You're going to get into disagreements. You are going to fight. You're going to have your moments. That does not mean break up. Marriage forces you to work these things out. Learn how to communicate, talk, work it out. But dating, you can just leave. The second you don't like something they do, you can go. Don't date for a long period of time. 6 weeks is more than enough. I love you all. Good luck.
If you're looking to get married while you're still a teenager, listen up. Is that safe? No, I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how her marriage is going to turn out. or how successful it will be, I have no idea. But what I do know is that being a trad wife is, again, one of the most dangerous things a woman could do. This man can die. He can decide to leave you at any point in time. He can do anything he wants to do. He can be abusive. Girl, there are so many variables. And at the end of the day, she's 19. 19. This means that she only has a high school education. What does she have to fall back on? What does she have to fall back on? She has no safety net. And she posted this video for other women, young girls like her, to see. No, she uses the same hashtags as Nara Smith, by the way, trad wife. I'll never get over her saying that she doesn't know what a trad wife is, because it's crazy. Girl, this young woman, I hope she has the sense to pursue an education and know that outside of her husband, she has to be independent. She has to be self-sustaining in some way, shape, or form, because at the end of the day, anything can happen. And for Nara Smith to come online and say she doesn't know what a trad wife is, as if you didn't post that propaganda for years, and as if you didn't whisper in all of your videos and ensure that they're all edited in a certain way, and ensure that you looked a certain way, and ensure that people, women, young women in particular, will look at you and say, oh, I want to be like her. Because that's what being an influencer is, right? It's advertising a product. It's putting yourself out there as a product for other people to see, for other people to want, to envy, and to strive to be like.
I'm 41 years old and I am a former trad wife. I was married at 20. I found out a week after I graduated high school that I was pregnant. My ex-husband and I got married the next fall when our oldest was 8 months old. And then we had 3 kids within 3.5 years by the time we were 24. He was always very controlling, but we had grown up in the church and we had actually met at church camp. So all of those things that I look back on that I complied to, I took part in, I perpetuated, were largely a part of my life growing up. The head of the household is the husband. The wife's job is to support her husband and love him. You don't speak ill against your husband because he's the head of the household. He's actually closer to God than you are. It took me a really long time to slowly, very slowly deconstruct from that. But it took 19 years to finally call it quits for me. I started waking up in 2019. We had gone to marriage counseling with a pastor. He was a counselor. And I had stopped after about 6 months. I just kind of coasted for a bit. I just kind of sat there and observed him and started to really just take in his behavior and notice his patterns. Towards the end of 2022, I had done a counseling session with this same counselor, pastor, and I said, I think I'm dealing with abuse. His immediate response was, what do you mean? This is the man who knew about the financial control. He knew about all of the cheating. He knew that the same issues that we had been having since we had started going to him just continued to cycle. And he knew about my ex-husband's patterns of behavior. In fact, this pastor and the senior pastor of that church, I reached out to them when I had finally decided to file for divorce. And I said, I would really like both of you to be there. You've both been a part of, this whole journey. And it was my understanding in the beginning that if I had chosen not to continue with this marriage, in God's eyes, that was okay because of everything that my ex-husband had done for decades to violate the marriage covenant. So I never heard back from either of them. I filed for divorce in January of 2024. And then my ex-husband proceeded to lock me out of the business that we built together. I had no access to money. I was locked out of our personal bank account, our personal joint bank account. It took months to get in front of the judge. The judge ordered him to pay me a certain amount every week. He did for 5 weeks and then he stopped. I, at this time, was continuing to borrow money from my sister for legal fees and just basic living expenses. So he wore me down. I was exhausted. I was sick. I didn't have any more fight in me. In October of 2024, we settled, and I knew that if I had just gotten my house, that I could have at least something to start over with. Now, having been a trad wife for over 2 decades, I am working for $12 an hour and going to school full time. And my very small amount of alimony ends in October of 2027. So I'm against that time clock as well. So the 2+ decades that I put into my family and my husband, building him up and protecting his image and covering his egregious sins against me, has led to me being 41, working for $12 an hour, going to school full time, trying to figure out how the fuck I'm going to support myself for the rest of my life. So for all of you fresh, young, 18, 19-year-old kids who glamorize the trad wife lifestyle, just know it attracts abusive men. Normal, healthy men want you to be autonomous. They want you to have your own life, your own thoughts and feelings, financial independence, and you are a child at 18, 19, 20, early 20s. So I don't know if this will help wake up anyone who is contemplating that lifestyle, but just know, us 40-year-old trad wives and former trad wives don't have platforms because the vast majority of us got burned. And usually it's after decades of completely destroying our health, minds, bodies, and giving everything that we could possibly give to be left starting over alone.
Somebody get that previous video, that young woman, that beautiful young woman, and this beautiful grown woman together in a room. Please put both of them together in a room. Because just like she said, you hardly hear stories of this trad wife phenomenon ending glamorously. Starts out great, 2 people building a life together. One deciding, I'm going to take care of everything here. I'm going to build you up and give you everything you need to succeed out there. And all you have to do is take care of everything else. Take care of financially, that's all you have to do. That's the only responsibility a traditional husband has, finances, right? It attracts abusive men. Whoever is in control of the money is in control of everything else. Let me say that again. Whoever controls the money controls everything else. A man that loves you, a normal man, will want you to succeed in life just like he is. He will want you to be independent. If anything happens to him, he'll want you to be able to take care of yourself. When Nara Smith came online, and for years she glamorized being a trad wife, and she can say she doesn't know what that is all she wants, but she purported that culture. She created the propaganda, and she profited millions off of her cosplaying as a trad wife, influenced many young women to think that this is the life that they want to live. And know that it's not popular anymore. Know that people are coming out and saying, just like what my good sister said, it attracts abusive men. You'll end up 40 and alone and starting over, going back to school, doing all the things that you should have done when you were in your 20s, in your 40s now, because now you have to stand on your own 2 feet. And this man is not going to think about the fact that, she built this business with me. All this money we saved together. We built this life together. So know that it's not working out anymore. I'm going to split it in half. No, he has the money. He's going to fight tooth and nail to keep everything. Because he wants you to fail. And if that's the last thing he can control, best believe he'll want to win. Nara Smith was irresponsible. And I know we're all independently in control of how we think and feel, but you cannot say that people have never influenced you. People influence us all the time. Lives that we don't live, we watch other people so that we can know what that's like. Nara Smith is just 24 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong. So her influence is for young women. I don't watch Nara's videos, but the one video I sat and watched, I was creeped out. Because why is she whispering? Why is she talking like this? And what is this lifestyle that she's trying to promote? A lot of us can separate what is real and what is fake and what is being performed. A mature mind can do that. Look at it for what it is and say, oh, she's acting. She's playing a role. This is not her real life. A lot of us grown women could look at it that way, but younger women, for them, it's harder for them to separate what they want from what they see online. Thank you so much for watching Spill by Sam. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Trying to grow my platform. Please subscribe. And share your comments, your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to know what you guys think. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.